it was there that it dawned on us that indeed something is going on. Something really is going on. So this morning we have the Gawa Uhas Secretary, Mr. Israel, with us to throw much more light on the strike actions taken by the Ghana Association of University Administrators. And we'll go on to talk about other strike actions taken by SSA, Senior Staff Association, and yes. So we'll really talk about that briefly. So Mr. Israel, you have actually given us your name and your position as a Gawa member. Particularly want to know, aside the position as a secretary for Gawa Uhas chapter, what's your
other portfolios
yes,
probably in the school,
in the university?
Well, apart from the fact that I am a Gawa Uhas secretary, I am the head of teaching and examinations unit of the Directorate of Academic Affairs in Uhas.
Okay.
Yes.
So you head that unit that vets the questions teachers and lecturers set for us.
Yes. I actually do. I actually do more than that.
There are some questions I wish lecturers never brought, and you actually went ahead to approve those questions.
Honestly, I do not actually vet the questions per se, but I ensure that the policies that are in place, we call it moderation policies. Okay. Oh yeah, I actually adhere to by the school.
Okay.
So I ensure that the schools adhere to the policy of moderation to ensure that whatever questions they set are the things you have been taught are part of the curriculum that is being administered to you. And the questions are set in a standardized way.
Okay.
To the extent that at each level we see that progressive nature of the questions that are set and what has been taught and how such questions will elicit the knowledge you are acquired in class and then produce it for verification and then authentication. Those are the things I ensure that I do in terms of the question aspect of it.
All right. Then I can say that you guys are really doing so
well.
Did
Mr. Israel say standardized questions?
Yeah, the questions are almost all the time standardized. It's just laziness on the part of these students. Sometimes they don't really go extra mile to study. You know, yesterday people came for bash. You could have actually stayed home to study. Okay, so
there's time for everything.
So now to Gawa, Ghana Association of University Administrators.
Yes.
What is the composition, or which people constitute this association?
So I must say, Gawa, like you rightly mentioned, is one of the labor unions on our university campuses.
Okay.
And it constitutes senior members in administration or professional staff, which I want to run not necessarily in any particular order from the registrar. We have the Director of Academic Affairs, Human Resource Directorate, Internal Audits, Works and Fiscal Development Directorate. We have the ICT. We have the estate people. We have those manning the schools as school officers or heads of administration in the various schools. We have those working at the institutes, the heads of the institutes. And in fact,
a number of it.
In fact,
almost half of the university administration.
So apart from the lecturers, the other senior members constitute Gawa members.
All right. All right. That's interesting. Yes. Now, you've been on strike.
Yes.
An indefinite strike for a couple of weeks now.
Yes.
Which we students, here in Uhas, and I can also say for a fact, other students in other universities have actually felt your absence greatly. It isn't only about lectures coming to classroom to teach. Yes, it isn't only about that, and we have really felt it. 2 weeks ago or something like that, we actually talked about the strike here, and we prayed that you guys will come. Yes, and so we want to find out why the strike and why this material time.
I wish to state that it is unfortunate that Gawa at this time had to embark on an industrial action, a strike. It is not phenomenon of Gawa.
Okay.
If I don't know how old you are,
it's true. I barely hear.
You will hardly hear Gawa go on strike. The last time they were on strike is about 11 years ago.
Oh, that's
yes.
long.
But you can imagine other unions and their frequency in terms of striking.
Yes.
It tells you how consultative GAWA works, because we are professionals and we believe that consensus is the way forward. So we hardly embark on strike. That is why I can tell you the last time GAWA went on strike was about 11 years.
A decade and a year.
Yeah. So it is unfortunate that this time GAWA had to take this very hard decision to embark on strike. Right. Yeah, so you asked also of why we embark on
yes,
strike.
The demands.
I want to summarily say that there are 8 reasons for GAWA embarking on the indefinite strike that you witnessed. The first of this is the fact that some members of GAWA have been denied their due allowances as established by the councils and the managements of the universities, the public universities. And this has actually affected the members to the extent that in the months where these allowances were totally taken off, they went home with nothing. Some of them practically went with negative balances in their account. This is the extent to which we are telling you GAWA members had suffered the decision of the government and its agency, especially the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission. The second reason that GAWA went on strike for is the fact that GAWA members have been placed lower on the single spine salary structure grade as compared to the other senior members in the university system. And that is unfair. We have had several consultations on this, several letters were written, and as I can tell you, I'm a local Uhas GAWA secretary. I can tell you the number of letters and the consultations that were held that did not yield any positive result. And this time it had been one of the reasons that GAWA members should be placed equally with all the other senior members in the university to ensure fairness in the process. The third concern was the fact that our condition of service as GAWA members entitles us to sabbatical leave for serving continuously in the university for 6 years, where you are doing 1 year, either to stay home, to rest, to check yourself, to pursue either further professional qualifications or growth processes. But unfortunately, and in recent times, we had a directive from the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission indicating that henceforth GAWA members are not entitled to sabbatical leave, which is contrary to our conditions of service and the practice of investment.
What was the reason why GTEC took this particular decision in regards to GAWA?
Well, if you ask me, I must say I do not know.
All right.
But I think GTEC itself probably was ill-informed, because in a recent engagement with GTEC just this Tuesday,
last week Tuesday,
just today is Saturday, so Tuesday ago, the indication was that the decision makers were ill-informed about that particular provision. So yes, I want to say that they have regretted taking that decision, and they are likely to issue a communique to retract that directive.
Statement.
And I must say it's unfortunate that at that level, a regulator of the universities will arbitrarily and unfortunately take decisions without proper consultation to that effect. But we are humans and we are prone to error. Yeah. So as far as they have agreed that they had erred and they would actually provide a communique to correct that anomaly, I think GAWA is okay to go with. The fourth point I want to state is about the fact that government has refused to pay the Tier 2 pension funds for retired GAWA members.
For several reasons, I'm average Ghanaians, and like myself who do not know these tiers. Can you please expand on it for us, elaborate more on what it is for us?
Okay, so as part of the labor law, every employee is supposed to undertake some social protection system called SNIT or pension scheme. And this pension scheme is regulated by government. So as an employee, my employer, which is the university, has a percentage to pay as a SNIT for me, and then the government also pays a percentage. Okay. So when the university pays my SNIT, government takes it and add to what they are supposed to pay. So when I retire at the age of 60 and I'm no more in active service in the university, I'm supposed to be giving that money to plan my life with my family. Unfortunately, government for some time now had reneged on this responsibility, making some of our members who did not opt for voluntary third tier pension scheme suffer. For instance, our colleagues who retired recently were not giving their pensions money, the tier 2. Indirectly, my brother and sister, you are aiding their untimely death. Yes, let's be realistic. You had contributed for about 20 to 30 years pension. You were not informed that you will be denied this money when you retire. Meanwhile, there's a statutory provision that you are paid, either in installment or in bulk. And none has been done for you. What do we live on in this hard economy? That's the question you ask yourself. So, indirectly, you are plunging our people into an untimely death. And it's unfortunate. And government cannot sit aloof and watch government and each agencies kill us to that extent. So, my brother, this is the extent to which Gawa is suffering. Now, I don't know whether that suffices the explanation. Yes.
It's okay.
Yeah. So, the next point, which is the 5th point out of the 8th, is the fact that as a culture in the university system, and for the purposes of ensuring smooth transition of the academic calendar, when a staff retires in the university prior to the person's to the end of the academic calendar, the person is not taken off from payroll.
Okay.
So, assuming I retire in February, that's the age of 60, I'm expected to continue the service in the university till end of July. Then I cannot be taken off. Recently, GTEC has issued a directive indicating that such a rollover is not continued. And they have started this with the technical universities.
I want to put a word in there. Yes. We've been hearing of job scarcity, okay, and also saying that the old ones occupy positions, not paving way for the younger ones to be employed.
Yeah.
So, would you agree with me? Maybe this is one of the ways the government is trying to take to create space for the unemployed to also get some job somewhere. Because
okay, when you finish, I'll just chip in with one or two things. I think if that should be the case, then the government should make them aware that the moment you are on pension, let's say in February, then that's the end of your salary or any other thing, so that you don't carry on extra activities which you know say you wouldn't get anything in return. So if they are talking of creating jobs for others, then yes, if the jobs are there, you think someone has retired in February, so maybe you want another person to take on, then make preparations, send the person off well, and let the next person who you want to occupy the position take on that position from March. So I don't let the person work in advance without being paid. It hurts when you work and you are not being incentivized.
Mr. Israel, will you agree to that, or you have something else to say?
I have to bring it a point of correction.
Okay.
For your education as well.
Okay.
That the university operates a formalized structure. So what I'm talking about is about a condition of service. Okay. That is what is in your appointment letter.
Okay. In the appointment letter.
Your term ends at the end of the academic year. That is why we do not take off your lecturers when they just retire. They end with the academic calendar. Okay. That is why every appointment in the university also takes effect with the structure of the academic calendar. So it is not about creating jobs for people nor denying others opportunity to be employed. So the structure is that you are appointed. For instance, I can be appointed in August. The next time my appointment ends should be end of what? July. You are appointed as a head of department from the beginning of August, and your appointment will end either the 2 years or whatever number of years in the end of what? July. That is how the universities operate, and it is what we call a condition of what? Service or appointment, which is codified. So it is not done unilaterally. So if, as a regulator, if you want to change that directly,
Yeah.
you know I have a contract with my appointment letter. This is a contract. So you have to come for negotiation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we discuss and agree. But taking the decision on your own constitutes unilateral violation of my condition to my disadvantage, because I assented or appended my signature to that employment opportunity or letter you gave me, which stated in category that this is what I'm entitled to. This is what we're talking about.
All right. It has been an interesting moment here with Mr. Israel trying to let us know what is actually happening with the strike of the various associations in the university. On this note, we'd like to take a short break, and when we come back, we will go deep into it, the negotiation with the government and the other regulatory bodies so far, if there is going to be a call off of the strike or any other thing like that. Stay tuned.